These four things are wildly different in the US and Europe, and honestly, I can't tell who's doing it better. Grocery bagging. So in the US, grocery bagging is very much a team sport with either the cashier or sometimes a dedicated bagger. Bottom line, there's usually someone to do it for you or at least help, not always. But in Europe, this caught me off guard. I was waiting in a long line to buy some groceries at a Croatian supermarket, can't remember which one, I think maybe Student or maybe Tommy. Anyways, I got to the cashier, and in hindsight, I was kind of being an idiot, but I was waiting for the cashier to start putting the items in the bag. Well, little did I know, they don't do that there, so I had to request the bag and then quickly, frantically bag everything myself while everyone's like waiting in line looking like, oh, this stupid American doesn't know what he's doing. Learned my lesson though and was able to bag the groceries myself for the next trip. Just a Croatia thing, or is this all of Europe, self-bagging? Bed sheets and sleeping setups. In the US, we've got the classic setup, a fitted sheet, a top sheet, and one giant comforter, shared by both people whether they like it or not. Meanwhile, in Europe, they're doing bedding completely differently. So I noticed in a lot of places, they remove that middle sheet and sleep with just a fitted sheet and a duvet. Now to take it even a step further, sometimes there's two duvets and each person gets their own. So there's no sharing, no blanket hogging, but then no cuddling either, or just different cuddling. But I don't know, I kind of like the European method. You end up not fighting over sheets in the middle of the night. And having that extra sheet in the middle sometimes just gets tangled up or ends up at the very bottom of the sheets and it just ends up being useless. And then this is something I was super confused about. The two twin beds that get pushed together to form a full or a queen. Anyways, almost all the hotels have this option where it's two twins that can be pushed together. Is this just a hotel thing or are people having this in their homes too? Because I definitely don't think that's an option at hotels in the US. Bathroom slash wet room culture. So in the US, I'd say bathrooms are at least trying to be kind of cozy. We have like a tub, maybe a curtain, a rug, or like a little shower mat to dry your feet. And it's all like separate and delegated. Even the toilet has its own little section sometimes. But in Europe, they're just like, nope, we're turning the whole thing into a splash zone. No curtain, no separation, just everything all together. Kind of wish we had more of this setup here. It makes it so much easier to clean stuff. I just feel like you can always have like a sanitary space if you can just basically blast everything with water. But which one do you prefer, a wet room or a traditional dry bathroom? I think I'm going wet room on this.
Fridge size. In the US, our fridges are so massive that they almost look like a full room that you could live in. And they have so much unnecessary tech and like order stuff for you and calendars and all this BS. I did not notice this in Europe. I mean, the fridges weren't like tiny. Like I guess I was kind of expecting like mini fridges everywhere. But no, they were basically regular. But I'm wondering, have you gotten these massive fridges yet? Are these becoming popular maybe in newer places, or is this strictly a US thing? I know people say everything's bigger in the United States and maybe fridges is just one of those things. So who wins, US or Europe? Are you on team wet room or dry bathroom? And what about the bed sheets? Let me know your experiences and if there are any culturally different things that I should discuss. Bye.